Like it was supposed
Oh
to.
no.
There we go. Should know. There we go. Alright. So having said that, guys, sorry about that. Had a stream issue, aka I kicked my hamster, aka I killed my power cord. So had to do a little switcheroo, turn back on stuff. So having said that, it's going to be FXOSC versus HasuObs. As you can see, it's close air positions. This is MLG Metalopolis, so SC and HasuObs do not want to check the 6 and 9 o'clock respectively for both players, as they will not be able to spawn there. So we will see what happens from here on out. Of course, a refinery going down along with the barracks. Looks like we're going to see some bio-ball play potentially starting off. There is no wall off at the front, so I'm not expecting any mech. We do see a gateway forming up along with the first assimilator as well. So pretty standard stuff from both players right now.
Sunrise core going down. Should be seeing a Zealot very, very soon. Normal to see a Zealot Stalker very early in the game for Protoss against Terran, so they can get that mighty little squad out to defeat any kind of Marines or SCVs scouting the Zelnaga towers. Of course, this will be close air, so very possible to be seeing some Banshees out in the field. Definitely going to be seeing some drops. I'm pretty darn sure if it does go into the mid game. And right now we do have the SCV moving into HasuObs' base. SC is going to be seeing exactly everything. Might even go into the fans just to see if there's anything posted there, but usually not this early in the game.
Yeah, now HasuObs doing something very curious. He actually is not mining gas. He just now started. So the fact that he wasn't mining gas when the scout came through, the fact that he's only got 2 on the gas right now would mean that he's going more almost a zealot heavy or fast expand, which we just saw go down. But also the fact that he only has 1 gas is a telltale sign that we're not going to see you know, a lot of sentries or something like that, at least early on, or at least attack in terms of a robo. So this SCV is going to hang around. It's going to try to check that count. We do see 3 probes coming to that gas, so he will have some indication that there may be some early pressure he needs to watch out for, and he will be watching this chrono boost as much as possible, as that will be another indication of what HasuObs may be planning.
Ooh, and right now we do see that SC's going for a 1-1-1 build here. Starport is just about a quarter of the way done. He will be going for those Banshees. As you do see, there's a tech lab going down on the factory. He will do that little switch there once that is done, and this is going to be pretty darn effective, especially since there won't be any anti-air for Protoss buddy here. HasuObs not looking to be in a good position. He has 1 stalker out, but that's not going to be quite enough to deal with a Banshee, especially when the Banshee can harass now 1 expansion in the main base. So this is actually going to be pretty huge, especially since the Stalker is now moving out to his opponent's position.
Yeah, and obviously we've seen that delay in not only the second gas, but also potentially a 4-gate. We are going to see a 3-gate robo, but it is going to be late. Normally we kind of see that get put down as soon as, you know, second gas needs to be down a little bit earlier, but we saw that expansion is set, which is obviously going to delay the 3-gate robo type setup for structures, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, having said that, you know, you're not going to be able to get the robo out very quickly because of the fact that you need that observer, especially if you know he's going Banshees, and we haven't seen any units get warped in yet. So that is a problem.
And he was being a little bit over zealous with the Stalker here. HasuObs was when he was trying to stop a production of this bunker. He brought one of the SCVs down to red health, and the Marines were just having at it and almost took down the Stalker, so forced HasuObs to pull back. But now the starport is going to be producing Banshees here. As you can see, 1 is finally just finished. We even see the cloaking field. Yeah, this is going to be very devastating, especially once he gets that second one out. He'll be able to harass on 2 positions at once. And here we go. It's going to be going into the back.
Yeah, but that observer did get out time, so that means that these stalkers are going to have full force. Unfortunately, the mobility is going to be in the favor of the Banshee if he can get down there fast enough, and probes are being pulled off the line, which means this Banshee needs to fall back. Using that cloak, though, very nicely done. The observer's going to have to force transition. That's 1 kill. Can he get 2? Going for 2. No, gets 2. There we go. And we'll have to drop back as that observer's going to show up. He's going to try to get this stalker and almost gets it. Needs to be careful, though. Oh, it's in range of that observer. Needs to fall back. And there we go. So going to be keeping that around for a rainy day. Does need to decloak it as the secondary Banshee comes in. And we'll be cleaning up. It does pick off 2 probes as well. So just kind of a little bit of nitpicking. And we do see that other Banshee coming back in. So nice job by FXOSC to basically use those Banshees, just kind of go back and forth with it. Of course, it has run out of energy, which means these Stalkers are going to catch up to it.
And no! 10 hit points, barely getting away. And that's kind of the difficult position there when a Banshee just gets outside of the starport. It does not have too much energy, and it was only able to save up for a few seconds there, so not going to be too useful. And here we go. So HasuObs is playing very safely. He actually has 2 observers out in the field, one for his main base and one for his opponent's base. It's like, here, I'll share it with you. Let's share some vision together. And he does see exactly what's going on.
Oh, nice take. So observer will be taken out. Of course, everything has been scouted already. So although he didn't see the tanks pop, so there's an indication there that potentially you may have, might have the Hellions coming. You might have tanks. You might, there might be an armory somewhere that he didn't get to. I mean, there's always, I've seen armories being placed over behind the mineral line before. So, you really don't know what's popping out. So the fact that observer was quickly dealt with is very good. We're seeing pylons go down at the natural, so going to get some warp ins down bottom. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe a third popping up soon for HasuObs. Of course, FXOSC in a great position right now as he does send in more harassment. 3 Banshees now out, so triple the fun. And now
even supply blocking.
4 Banshees actually. I take that back. There's a 5th one on the way. SCV's moving down. Oh, this is going to be an all-in here. This is that Marine tank Banshee all-in that we see every once in a while. And I've actually heard it be happening at MLG. So it is not just for the faint of heart, even though the top tier people are using it. And oh, that's not good.
Yeah, a little bit of the slowdown in the game. But HasuObs looks fairly prepared for this, even though there's a lot of SCVs on the field that can be used as a meat shield. It's just not looking too good, and there we go. He pulled back. He wants to just kite these units forward, but the Immortal presence is fairly high. So he's going to play it smart. He's going to be going for the pylons, even going to be deactivating some of these warp gates. As you can see, 4 Banshees, super powerful. And now here comes the main assault gear siege tanks.
Oh, this is such a nice composition because the Banshees can pick off the Immortals. And the Zealots are getting cleaned up. The Marines, nice stem back with the micro, very nicely done. SCVs obviously being used to clean up as well. Banshee's going to be able to do a lot of damage. And I'm actually surprised these aren't being pulled back to go harass even further. But you have the only double side of that is that SC does not have any forces, so the Banshees have to be pulled back in that instance, if nothing else, just for extra defense. The siege tank actually going to siege up on the low ground. Kind of surprising. And it will actually be enough to force HasuObs to draw back. Yeah,
right now, SC looking in a bad position here. HasuObs does have that food count, does have that expansion where that one base all in did not work out too well. SC was not able to do enough damage that he needed. What he really wanted to do was get a lot of damage on the mineral line, but as you can see, the mineral line for HasuObs is just saturated beautifully, and now he's going to be going for that third. But Banshee harassment will be present here, but there is an observer on location, so this will actually be
There's a lot of Stalkers here, but if he splits this army into 2, he's actually going for a supply block, so that's nice. That's 200 minerals taken down. The thing is if you can, even if you can't get probes, if you can just get quick kills, i.e. pylons, supply depots, overlords, what have you, you can really start to stack that to where it would be almost equivalent to probes, just because you're forcing your opponent to build things they don't want to, i.e. 2 more pylons to get things back. So very nicely done with that. But we're going to see SC continue to build. We haven't seen him go for an expansion yet. He's going for that natural. And there's another pylon that was actually, I think, put out. It was canceled. And this support bay is almost going to get taken out. Oh, if he could take this would be big. Oh, and this is, he's going for that natural. There's another gateway going down along with 2 more gateways. Oh, and these probes are bunching up. That is not good. And there's the cloak, and this is going to be so much devastation. Oh my goodness. And now the observer moved in, but unfortunately didn't get there in time, which means that if these Banshees micro correctly, all these Stalkers are going to go down, more probes being taken out, and HasuObs is not in a good position at all. Another gateway being taken down as more Banshees coming into the main, and the support bay is going to get picked. These Banshees are being so effective. Oh my goodness, and all these stalkers way overcommit, but he has to do it. More and now it's a guessing game. Oh my goodness. So much energy left on those Banshees. He's gonna try to take another pylon. Nope, can't quite get it.
HasuObs cannot do enough damage like he wants to here, as you can see. And oh no, he's even decloaking and going towards the next base, cloaking back up again. But there is another observer out on the field. This is very good for HasuObs because he will be able to hold us off.
6,
Mhm.
6. Oh my goodness, so many kills. And then that one Banshee being left at home has 0. It's actually going to be out of energy, but it's actually firing on a couple probes. So there's its first kill. And people say that Banshees are useless units, and unfortunately I have to disagree this time around. They have definitely done a lot of detrimental damage, especially since HasuObs doesn't have Cloak. If he had Cloak, this would be a much different story. But 45 probes to 38 right now in terms of workers. But look at the units lost. Tab, 17 workers killed compared to 35 for SC. That is a huge discrepancy and a lot of lost mining time for HasuObs. Temporary Archives now coming into play. Feedback going to be a huge thing here now, along with siege tanks and photon cannons going down. So, but I do think SC is doing the smart thing. He's keeping Cloak going. He's building up just enough to get in there and harass, but not enough to actually kill the Banshee. We see a lot of times people will actually save energy up while they're pushing, and then obviously feedback comes in and just annihilates Banshees. But by him doing this and running it out as much as he can, even if he has to get away and taking a very long path, it will benefit him in the end, even if he doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, these High Templar will be doing a little bit of damage if the feedback or if the energy of the Banshees is not too high. And like you said, like the Banshees are usually cloaked a lot of the time when they assault, and usually run it out as fast as they can. But as we do know, High Templar can, of course, turn into Archons if they need be. So they will be very effective against this Marine force, soaking up a lot of damage. But there is quite a few siege tanks out on the field, and that's why we're seeing Immortals popping out on the field as well.
Yeah, this one Recon Zealot going to be going out here. He's got he's armed with his sniper blades. Going to be checking things out here and making sure that SC is not expanded to a third. He is not. And, of course, HasuObs going to figure that out. But you can see how many mules are actually down in the natural line. There's like 5 of them. 5 or 6. But going to be building up that Raven point defense energy. Of course, more siege tanks being built along with some Vikings now. He wasn't able to snipe that area. Actually was able to snipe that starport. I'm sorry, that support bay. But potentially that has been replaced. We do see a major force moving out for HasuObs. It is going to be 2 Immortals, 18 Stalkers, 1 Sentry, 6 High Templar, and 13 Zealots. Now there's no blink, there's no charge quite yet. It does look like blink is being researched currently. Level 1 weapons just now about halfway done. You can see that actually SC has no upgrades to speak of, which is actually a big deal considering we're 20 minutes in this game and really no upgrades have been had. So kind of surprising, but having said that, Banshee's continuing to kind of form around, and this is where it's dangerous. You can see how much energy is built up, 100 energy. If he gets to 141 energy, that's how bad it has to be. You know, High Templar can come in there and snipe it in one shot, and then Banshees aren't exactly a problem anymore.
And right now, this is a massive Terran force here who can do a lot of damage to these Stalkers for the tanks. Are very, very powerful, using the Marines to do that extra chipping damage as well. Sniping off even some of the observers here because of that Raven. And even the Raven can use these point defense drones, which will be so crucial in this game. Oh, and a feedback on
wow,
the Raven.
Almost got that Raven. Of course, that's going to alleviate that point defense drone that you just mentioned. And now you can see SC's doing the smart thing. He's cloaking everything, even if it's not in combat, just to burn off some of that energy so that he doesn't have to be so worried about it, because he actually has his Banshees above the 140 mark right now. He's trying to burn. He's doing a great job of taking out stuff as well, but he's doing a good job of trying to burn down that energy so he doesn't have to be as concerned about it. But an observer coming in, you're going to be able to see that High Templar are going to come in. There's the feedback. You can see what I'm talking about by burning the energy. If he had not done that, it would have been a much different story. And now the drop coming in, another, he snipes the Archon. And what is HasuObs doing? He's actually being forced back. You can see all these siege tanks here. He's actually confined and pinned down. And now the siege tanks coming in. Obviously, the Mortal going to absorb a lot of damage. There's a storm right on top. Nice storm. Unfortunately, it just does not do enough damage to mech units. And very nice storms coming in. He will alleviate the pressure, but the damage being done, quite frankly, in HasuObs' base. Oh, another good storm. But nice storms again, but still not enough damage being done as he's not attacking the base. And that's what SC is doing. He's removing gateways, removing pylons, removing cybernetics cores, which is very important here, as obviously that removes stalkers from play. Charge now coming in, but these Banshees are wrecking base. And if I had this Banshee hit spot on my team, I would be doing the same thing. So some lovely ladies doing some lovely amounts of damage right now.
And look at this. I mean, the reinforcements from HasuObs will be much less, but as you can see, HasuObs is pulling ahead on
nice
the unit count still.
That heal, yeah. And Marauders down the low ground, they're going to do a lot of nice damage here. Marines are going to help clean up the Immortals as well. Unfortunately, Blink back in a save, but there's a lot of Zealots in here, and he's actually forced to make just Zealots because he has to rebuild that Cybernetics core, which he should be throwing down right now. Yes, he is. And Chrono boosting out that level 2 armor. But here's the thing, is this game continues to go on. You have to understand that the upgrades are going to come into play here. And if SC does not get any upgrades, that is going to be very detrimental to him. So I'm waiting to see those. Units alone are not going to win it. However, having said that, it is 153 to 96. And unit count will count and catch up to him here shortly. I mean, looking at the tab, it is 70 workers to 37, which means that HasuObs is going to have the mining capability to get back into this game very quickly.
Yeah, as you can see, the 1-1 upgrades are down. Even more High Templar are going down, and even the benefit, the benefit of having this third base, even getting a fourth for HasuObs, is going to be able to get more forces here, and this is why you could be a little bit more overzealous with those zealots there.
No pun intended.
As they move forward. Yeah, no pun intended. As they move forward.
But having said that, Cybernetics core should be finishing up. It is finished, so more stalkers are now going to get cranked out to back up this army. There are a couple High Templar in the base that are been stationed around just in case Banshees do show up to try to prevent them from cloaking for too long. But you can see the natural has been mined out almost. The main has been mined out. Third is on the way to being mined out. He has gotten a fourth up, and it is almost stabilized. The thing is that SC is mining from the gold, and you can see he's dropped 5 mules, or 4 mules, excuse me, no. Yeah, 4 mules. And is mining from that. That is what's keeping him in line. But you can see the amount of money that is there. It's actually higher right now because of the gold, comparatively to the worker count. However, when this gold is mined out, which will happen very quickly, HasuObs is going to be in great position. So he's actually got the support bay on the way. That's going to help. He's going to get those Colossus rolling. And you can see, big army moving back towards the natural. If this drops, SC is going to be in a huge predicament as he has no other bases. At least HasuObs has 2 other bases online that he can fall back to. And, Blink Stalker's coming in, and if he can prevent... and SC is not actually doing anything. He's just kind of sitting over. He's not reinforcing. There's the storm to kind of say, you know what, I'm still here, bitch. And,
yeah, I can do whatever I want. I'm just going to stop everything you have. Here we go. He's going to be going straight up into the base. There's only 1 tank here, a few extra tanks, but that's just not going to be enough. Storms going down. Beautiful storms. Destroying all these Marauders here. Going to be moving up straight into the base. He's like, you know what? You have supply depots up here. I'm going to say supply depots suck. I'm going to shoot them all down and take away all your abilities for tech labs, reactors, everything. This is a great play by HasuObs, doing a ton of damage and could force a GG if he continues to make more units.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. HasuObs had the same thing done to him, but he had so many mining bases that he could get back on track very quickly. I mean, we saw him throw down like 4 structures immediately after the push was alleviated. And we're going to have to see that out of SC. Unfortunately, the gold has been attacked. If this command center falls, that is going to be a huge loss. And SCV still do survive. Marauders going to push it back. But this is where those upgrades come into play. And we're seeing an immediate load up drop. We're going to see this head out. Another medevac could have loaded up this other Marauder force. Not going to happen. He's going to keep those at the gold to protect them, as those wisely so, as those Stalkers look like they're going to be moving in. But you can see this pylon over here at this 6 o'clock spawn location is going to be providing nice reinforcements. And charge lots coming in here, and medevac's almost getting picked to some degree because of the energy due to the feedback.
This is really, really huge for HasuObs right now. 165 food. to SC's only 82 food, but SC
Oh,
can do
that's
some
not even the
drops.
big story, Akabane.
Mhm.
It's 70 workers to 11 right now. Mules are the only thing that are keeping SC alive in this.
Yeah.
And if this had been any other matchup, we would have already seen the GG happen here. Blink coming up here. There's the charge as well. Of course, charge annihilates Marauders even with concussive shell. So you have to spread them out and keep them going as best as possible. And oh, this is not looking good for SC. Hasu looked like he was on the fence and has decided, you know what, I'm going to go back in and fight through it. And he is doing so successfully, even after all the harassment that SC has put onto him. It has just been a constant pounding by SC. And HasuObs is finally starting, because we're in late game now, and it's hard to believe this game has been going on for 30 minutes. That HasuObs has even got somewhat of a lead going right now, but he does. I mean, looking at losses right now, 22,000 and 24,000. Looking at lost resources, you would not say that HasuObs has an advantage here, but he does. Dark Shrine now coming to play. Oh, feedback on to the medevacs, making sure they're. Oh, nice storm.
Nice storm.
And
Bring them all down to
wow.
that red health there.
And without any energy, the medevacs are useless. HasuObs is trying to throw out, but oh, more zealots, more starters come in. DTs are now possible, and we might see those get slipped into the back. There's a proxy pylon here, very easy to do. And Archon's waiting it out as well.
Taking out 3 medevacs there as they were retreating, and here we go. They're actually going to try and cut them off. But the medevacs are going to be playing a little bit more smart. SC just doesn't want to lose these 4 Marauders that are in the red health here. As you can see, Stalkers are moving up on him, and he's just going to keep those safe for now and possibly get some more damage on his opponent here. As you see, might be another drop coming up. Yes, there is, and there's also a secondary push going from SC possibly to the expansion here. So this could be pretty big.
Nice, these Warping Stalkers down on the low ground at this natural, and oh, there go the Marauders, what's left of them.